Welcome back, Restoring Darkness listeners and viewers. Folks, what a week we had last week. Greg, Eric, and I were in Utah. Where were we? We were in Wasatch County to support Save Wasatch Back Dark Skies. Now, it sounds a little bit different. Save Wasatch Back. What does that mean? Well, Wasatch Front is Salt Lake City, a heavily light polluted environment. But the mountains block all that light pollution, and in the Wasatch Back, I was able to see beautiful, pristine, starry skies from mountain range to mountain range. And so Greg, Eric, and I flew down to help with a presentation to the Wasatch County Planning Commission. Greg gave a presentation on the technical side. The Save Wasatch Back Dark Skies people, Lisa Bahash and Sean Severino, gave presentations about why they should not allow uplight in the county. And it was amazing. The Planning Commission really absorbed a lot of what we said. We've got a lot of momentum right now in that movement. So this is what this foundation is about. That's right, supporting our people on the ground, people that want to preserve the night, people that want to restore darkness. The Lighting in Darkness Foundation will be there for you. So if you're listening to this, not everybody has time to donate to volunteer, to help out, to make calls, write letters, and do all sorts of other things involved in this kind of advocacy work. But you know what? There's other ways to help out. And one of those ways is to go to the restoringdarkness.com website right now and click that donate link. Why not become a monthly donor? That's right. The Lighting in Darkness Foundation is going to create advocacy programs on the ground to help out those who want to preserve night and restore darkness. So you can even give directly to the campaigns. Right now we only have one, that's Save Wasatch Back Dark Skies. But if you click Darkness Campaigns on the restoringdarkness.com website today, you can donate directly to the Utah cause. That's right, folks. And guess what? The Lighting in Darkness Foundation will match your donation dollar for dollar up to $3,500. And I think right now we already have 1,700 and there's more coming in. So help us save Wasatch Back Dark Skies. My thanks go out right now to Sean Savarino and Lisa Bahash of Save Wasatch Back Dark Skies for their amazing work. And guess what, girls? We're just getting started in Utah. That's right. We're going to get this advocacy campaign up and running, and we are going to not stop talking about this until there's no uplight allowed in the back counties, Wasatch County of Utah. We've got a great show for you guys ahead. We got Dan Jobbins. He's talking about landscape lighting, his company, Hudson Valley Holidays in New York. And he talks about how you can still have some landscape lighting, but we need to make it so that it turns off. And so that we're talking more about wayfinding rather than lighting things up all night long. So wait for that. Dan Jobbins coming up. But before we get to that, we got to go to the Darkness News Update with Scott Wachter. Hey, Scott, what do you got, buddy?
All right, pop quiz. How many studies about Alan were published last year?
I'm going to say 26.
437.
Get out of here.
Academic papers about dark sky related topics. This is a big database that Dark Sky International maintains. They index everything. You can find these. It's a great spreadsheet. I wish you could sort it by which ones are behind paywalls, but they've just updated it for this year. So in 2022, 437 documents got added to this database. 30% of them are about wildlife issues. 30% are about how to use remote sensing to build our knowledge to understand where the light is going up. And we've also got a lot of human-centric topics and security topics going down the list.
You know, the research community is really starting to see this as an environmental issue. And we've been talking about it here on the Restoring Darkness podcast since, October 2021, Scott. And then before that, the great work of Dark Sky. But now we're starting to see the motion, the movement at the bottom of the research papers are coming out. Light pollution is pollution, Scott Wachter.
All right, so this is not an endorsement. But this is a product that did something that I think we can respect around here. LumiLEDs, makers of LEDs, have designed a new LED chip that only emits 2% blue light.
Wow. It's a great
Yeah.
innovation for
And
this. It's all the stuff is coming. It's all coming. I can't wait. Yes. So
and they said
congratulations to Luminuts.
they said specifically that they were looking at night preservation issues in outdoor planning. They want to be part of the solution. And you know what? Looking at the specs on this thing, these are lab specs, but these are way more encouraging than even say PC Amber or Amber LEDs.
Sure. Wow. Congratulations to Luminuts, and thank you for contributing. This is what we need. We need the research, and then we need industry. We need to start making the fixtures, making the equipment, Scott.
Yeah. All right. So we've got a new study from the University of Guelph. A third of all North American bioluminescent insects are endangered species now.
Tragedy.
Yeah.
And especially when, light pollution is such an easy, it's something we can fix right now. We don't have to wait for it. I mean, you might have to wait for a little bit of planning, maybe a rebate application or two, but people can get started on this right now. And what we're talking about there, Scott, is restoring darkness. So that wildlife group, they are being attacked by light pollution, right? And
Absolutely.
it's not like we have to, we have a dam or something like some massive. We just have to get these lights turned off. We have to get them turned down. We have to get them tuned down. We have to shield them. These are all easy peasy lemon squeezy things to do, Scott. We got to just do it, and everybody in the lighting industry is going to get rich. I don't see the problem here. Let's go.
Right. So we have a meta study. So 4 UK research hospitals bought a bunch of data from 1,500 other papers and started cross-indexing factors and found out that sleep disorders are definitely linked with prostate cancer. This is another confirmation of research we've talked about before, but yep, we can see that sleep disorders lead to prostate cancer. Sleep disorders separate of chemo-related fatigue make prostate cancer
Wow.
worse.
I mean, at the end of the day, even from our work on the Get a Grip on Lighting side, Scott, and the lighting industry news brief and all that, what seems to be coming out to me is that all of this lighting that people are talking about or circadian, all the actual result should be better sleep. And if people
Yeah.
can sleep better, they'll be healthier.
That's exactly it. And speaking of that, we have a comment. This is not any research, but a comment, a letter to the editors of The Lancet, the biggest journal in medicine, from Diego L. Golombek of Universidad de San Andres in Argentina, calling for what he calls sleep diplomacy.
Hmm. And this would be an advocacy or an awareness creation program by researchers and scientists to help people understand that sleep is like healthy sleep is health. Actually,
Yeah.
probably like it's like light pollution is pollution. Sleeping properly is the fundamental basis of a healthy person.
And he wants to bring this down to the individual doctor level so that your GP is asking you about your sleep a lot more often. And this is, again, I just like the phrase sleep diplomacy.
I love that.
That's one we got to use more.
Yeah, it is a wonderful term. It's like the idea of tranquility. You know that I can't remember my mind goes so fast on these shows when we're recording, but this idea of silence and darkness and sleep. These are all kind of the same thing that we're talking about here. They all go together. Light pollution, sound pollution, disrupted sleep. All these things are from this lack of tranquility that we have in our world, Scott Walker, and we need to bring it back.
All right, moving north from Argentina, we're talking about Colombia, which is 3% brighter every year over the past 10 years, particularly the 5 biggest cities in the country.
Oh my goodness! The light pollution is just I think it was Ruskin Hartley from Dark Sky was talking with Randy Reed from Edison Report, saying 10% a year.
Yeah.
Light pollution increases. We have to stop that. Okay, we're talking about restoring darkness. Well, first we have to preserve night, Scott Walks. We have to stop doing more damage, right? Like stop the madness, right? Like it's the same thing with climate change. Can you prove to me that you can stop increasing CO2 emissions? Never mind reducing them. Like let's just see if we can stop increasing it. Lighting industry, get on board with darkness restoration and night preservation. It's our moral duty.
All right, we're going to the other Columbia. This is in Pennsylvania, and they are turning off the lighting on a bridge. This bridge is on the upper deck has been a big attractor of mayflies.
Mm-hmm.
And this is causing so much. This is a hazard to drivers. This is how many mayflies there are. I've got a picture here of dead mayflies piled 2 feet high on the road, and
That's
they are
grotesque.
finally just turned. Yeah, yeah. They're just turning off the lights, and it's like, look, this is all we can do. It's better for the mayflies. It'll be better for us. Just drive safely across this bridge at night.
So, hopefully we're going to layer that picture into this program to show people the piled up mayflies. But you're talking about cars skidding out on the dead bodies of insects, right? That's what the problem is here.
Yeah, or just complete blanked out of windscreens. Basically fog conditions, but the parts per million is the size of this.
Light pollution is so grotesque when you start to get into the weeds of it. The dead birds, the who cares about the mayflies? The birds can fly over there. Actually, why don't you come have a look? Come have a look at 1,000,000 dead birds and see what it looks like, and see if you still feel the same way. And if you do, then you're a psychopath. If there's no how many dead mayflies? Okay, so what about the drivers? Do you care about that? And so, I applaud that. Columbia, Pennsylvania, did you say?
Yes.
Shut that down, buddy. Let's go. Yeah, I love it.
All right, so it's turtle season, Mike. It's turtle season, so we got 3 turtle topics to go through.
Let's do it.
So Key West, public beaches, lights out at 11 until October. That's their decision for the year. Marco Island, Florida, they've allocated police resources for turtle task force patrols at night.
Okay.
So these are civilians. These are civilians, but in a police vehicle, and they are authorized to hit people with private citizens with citations, fines, actual fines, for having beach-facing lighting on after 9, and they also have to knock over sandcastles because they might.
Are you kidding me? Is that legit? They have to go knock down
this is the other thing they have to do is the sandcastles they block the little turtles as they're on their way out. So I'm sorry, but the cops have to kick your sandcastle over.
Oh man, sounds so mean, but sorry, kids. But was there one more? You said 3 things on turtles. Did you get
one more? Bear Warriors United is suing the city of Palm Beach over what they believe to be failures, ESA violations, Endangered Species Act violations, for sea turtles in the city. They've got a 100-page document, annotated photos, the whole thing, of what Palm Beach is not doing to help turtles right now, and they are taking the city to court over it.
As much as I applaud this, we have to get away from the cute animals. It can't just be about the turtles. We only love the pandas and the turtles and the poor, beautiful little rabbits or whatever. We don't care about the alligators and the mayflies, but actually it all goes together. And so, I'd like to see more than just turtles, but I'm so happy to hear that. The other thing is I'd love Key West to monitor the crime rates while they turn off those lights. Let us know. See what happens. Was there more crime or less crime over other years? Let's package it together with some research.
Yeah, just start looking at your numbers. Start correlating data.
Yeah, I'd really like to see that. So we always love the sea turtles, but what do you got next here, Scott?
All right, we got another lawsuit. This is one coming to an end. This is a 2-year legal proceeding that's been going on between Scottsdale, Arizona Unified School District and the residents near one of their high schools about a baseball field. This has pretty standard, what you would think is pretty standard baseball field lighting. Full kit, couple of poles, big old fixtures. But they finally come to a settlement out of court that the school district will only run 20 night games a year, none of them on Sundays. The last 3 innings, they start dimming the lights. The lights have to be off an hour after the end of play.
And what time does the sun set in Arizona?
Well, during baseball season, around 6:30 maybe?
Is it that early? In the summer, in June or July, the sun might not set till 9, 10 o'clock. It's a lot of people think, oh, man, let the kids play baseball. But what if the lights are on till 1, 2 in the morning? You know what I'm saying? I don't think we totally understand the scope of this. When are the lights going off? How bright are they? How much trespass is there? And, can this actually be fixed? That would be the other thing is can we get a lighting expert in there to get some shielded stuff going? We were just I was in Utah last week, Scott, talking to the good folks at Save Wasatch Back Dark Skies. And we looked at various ways that are opposite of uplighting, which was downlighting, And it was very interesting to see how you can tighten things up with shields and that. So there isn't this light coming out projecting off the structure. I guarantee you with those light fixtures in the field, they're 50-60% of the light is cast way beyond the field into the neighbors' yards and houses and stuff like that. And so it is a big deal, folks. And if people are listening to this and they think, oh, let the kids play baseball. Yeah, okay. Yes, I agree. But there needs to be some solution. There needs to be some tranquility for people as well.
All right. So the Cedar Rapids Country Club of Iowa has must use motion sensor lighting all around the edge of their facility. So this is tennis courts, golf courses, anything that faces away from the space, it's on motion sensors now. This is a city council thing.
And as much as I like that, I've done a lot of motion sensors in my life. A little bit worried about long-term execution of those sensors. The other thing, is that, the motion sensors are something we need to develop better. I think we could, with those lighting control systems, so we could actually see if the motion sensor is not being false tripped by some kind of HVAC duct coming out of the building at night. You know what I'm saying? The motion sensors are not a panacea for this. Shielded light fixtures are the way to go. Low Kelvin temperature, dim down. The other thing is that on and off, if there's some sort of, raccoon or something running around, he's going to trip that sensor. Or coyotes or whatever, and you could have on and offs on those lights all night long, which are possibly worse than just steady light pollution for in some ways, because you're going to have that on, all of a sudden the light goes on. So I love motion sensors. I love the idea, but this is where we need that connected lighting, Scott, so we can monitor it and see if it's working properly.
All right, so I know you're talking about Utah. You just got back from Utah, but how do you feel about a trip to Wyoming?
Love Wyoming, same part, basically the same geography, the same kind of environment. What's going on in Wyoming?
So Cody, this is a town on the drive up to the Shoshone Mountain National Reserve, National Forest. We've got the LDS proposing a 100-foot tall steeple with full up lighting, and the residents are already pushing back.
Yeah, look, a lot of the argument, and when I was in Wasatch back, I was talking to these folks, and they're like, well, don't bring up this LDS and don't bring up that and don't talk about this or the Jehovah's Witnesses or the Islam or the this or that or the minarets or what. Like, actually, nobody really cares what you worship, to be honest with you. I mean, are there jerks out there? Yes, but the vast majority of people, especially ones in this movement, because I know many of them, and they're all good people. They don't care about your temple or your mosque or your church. They just don't want you to uplight it, okay? And this idea, these different churches and that they believe that we have to uplight it because this is where heaven and earth connect. And it's like, no, you can't blot out the heavens. That's what and expect this is electric anthropogenic light pollution. It's got nothing to do with holiness. Okay? And it is 100% conspicuous, obscene, and grotesque. So I don't care if you're Catholic, Muslim, LDS, Hindu, whatever, light pollution is not a reflection of holiness or sanctimoniousness. Okay? It's not sanctifying your space. It's grotesque. And we need to get that into these folks' heads, whatever religion they are, Scott Wachter.
Oh, yeah. No, I mean, we will talk about a minaret when I get a minaret story.
There you go. I mean, I understand why they want to do this, because they have 20th century thinking about electric light. Okay? But we have way too much information now, and you need to open your eyes, and you need to see what's in front of your eyes. This is not good for the planet. It's actually pollution. It's grotesque, obscene, and conspicuous. So no, it's got nothing to do with the heaven and earth connecting because of anthropogenic light pollution. Okay, that's not a thing. Okay?
Pretty sure there's like a story about a tower to the heavens that did not go well.
Yeah, Tower of Babel, buddy. Exactly. Like you're building these human structures, and yes, many of these buildings are beautiful to look at, but the light pollution is grotesque, folks. Get a grip.
And that's it for the week.
Oh, sorry. Wow. The Darkness News Update, Scott. Great work. And if you want to follow Scott Wachter, you can go to restoringdarkness.com. You can see he posts all these stories there. You can dive deeper. All the links are there for you. LinkedIn's a good place. So is Twitter. Scott, you're posting everything on social media as it comes out. He's consistently posting these stories, so you can follow Scott Wachter's work. Scott, great job. Thanks for another great Darkness News update.
All right. Thank you.
Wow. What another great Darkness News update by Scott Wachter. Folks, the Lighting in Darkness Foundation means business. We're going to be on the ground, and we're going to be supporting advocates, people that need help in ordinance battles and battling light pollution. So why not become a recurring donor to the Lighting in Darkness Foundation? Go to restoringdarkness.com, click the donate button at the top. You can give a one-time gift. You can give it to us monthly. Monthly would really help out, to be honest with you. Or you can give directly, that's right, directly to specific campaigns. Click those darkness campaigns. You'll see it on the top there. And you can give directly to Save Wasatch Back Dark Skies. And every dollar, up to $3,500, will be matched by the Lighting in Darkness Foundation. That's right, folks. And also, if you are in an ordinance battle, if you need help, contact the Lighting in Darkness Foundation. And finally, there's lots of ways to give. We need web developers. We need volunteers. We need people to make calls, write letters. Contact the Lighting in Darkness Foundation today if you're interested in helping out. So lots of ways to help out. It's not just money. You can give your time. You can give your energy. You can lend your credibility to us. You can help us out in a ton of ways. And lighting industry, you guys, all you lighting industry guys out there, that's right. We want you to embrace this. Why? Because it just makes so much financial sense for the industry, finally. It's a win, 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 win. Go to restoringdarkness.com right now and think about becoming a recurring donor. Thanks for listening to the Darkness News Update.